Hi, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this greenhouse. This is about a 38.5 foot wide by about 112 foot long structure that we built about 2 years ago. And there's a few unique features about it that you could garner some lessons learned from. One thing that I liked was by putting a solid panel of polycarbonate. This is 3 millimeters thick. It's about 7 feet wide, and the panels came in 19-foot long lengths. I put two of these on this structure. The structure overall was on the order of 75 panels. So having two that really don't have any R value really didn't affect the overall performance thermally. The glazing, besides those two solid panels, that's a 4-layer 8 millimeter polycarbonate, has an effective R value of 2.22. As you look through this structure, you'll see there's a few locations that I never bothered finishing. Usually you're going to put U-channel in places like this, and that keeps the water from going into the channels. So you'll see a few of those. It has more to do with just time and scheduling, just never got to it. The structure itself is about 18 feet high. I found that made a huge difference in terms of thermal performance over my other ones that are about 12 feet high. As far as the glazing and the butt joints, used both aluminum butt joints, and down here, that's a polycarbonate butt joint. So the polycarbonate butt joint and the aluminum butt joint, they're the same price, but they give different performance specs. For instance, if you mess up an aluminum butt joint, you're going to have to replace it. The polycarbonate has some resilience associated with it. So this particular greenhouse, what we did here, which is kind of interesting, is we went ahead and poured a slab. And what we did is we used dry pour methods to do it, about 4 to 6 inches thick. It saved us a lot of time, and really I don't care about a smooth finish on that. Similarly, we went ahead and ran with a dry pour over here, and that dry pour was about 3 to 4 inches thick. Very convenient and easy to build. We're going to go ahead and use some grow beds here, just cleaning things out this spring. But one thing that I think is an interesting feature is these grow beds, they actually utilize polycarbonates, 4 millimeter panels inside. And the intent for that is to eliminate the rot for the wood. Now these grow beds we built, probably 5 years ago. I've used them here and there. They do have some wear from rot, but this method will keep them preserved for the next 20 years without any problem. So one thing you'll notice, so up here, we used a series of trussing, both solid pipe as well as these 3/16-inch stainless cables. Now the cables are in tension, and the horizontal members are all in tension. So, if you have a snow load squishing out on top, it's poor man's method for building a strong structure. It keeps the structure really fit and going. I'm going to get to building a couple worm beds here and put some compost in there and be able to dissolve that compost in some really good plant nutritious fertilizer. So that's one of my projects there. Another idea here is that we went ahead and used grow beds along the sides. Now we did that for a couple reasons. One, you really don't use the bottom corners at all for growing. It's just too short. It's too far away from the ground. The plants don't utilize it, so why not do something with it? So these grow beds were built by having T-posts and putting those on about 7 foot, 6-inch centers, thereabouts, 6 foot centers, thereabouts. And then I used roofing material, roofing steel. It seemed to hold it very well, and then lined it with silage tarp plastic on top, which we got for free, and that keeps the weeds down. So it seems to work pretty good. It looks pretty good. I ran this 2x6. These are Cole 2x6s I got from the scrap yard at a local lumber mill. And I picked them up really cheap. But by putting the 2x6s on top, you don't have to worry about tripping and hitting your hand on the top of a sharp T-post or anything like that. Another thing that I'll probably have a subsequent video on, this is kind of an interesting idea. It's how do you minimize carbon waste, minimize the need to till, things like that. So what we did here is I dry poured these rows and made these curbs out of dry poured concrete. And inevitably I'll get around to filling the gaps in between the rows with some crushed limestone. It'll look really good. Now the benefit of that is you can go and flood irrigate. You only have to do it once a week. Fill compost in the middle, never have to till. Really in future years shouldn't even have to reseed, or seed I should say. It'll just reseed itself. So it's just kind of an interesting concept. Seems to be working pretty good, and I'll keep you posted on how things work out. Another thing that's really handy, so we're completely on solar power here. So we try to be carbon neutral here. So we have no forced ventilation fans. We rely exclusively on natural ventilation. So we sized a series of vents up on top as well as on the bottom. And we did that on both sides. We have no middle or side vents. It's exclusively venting on the ends. And because of the nature of our climate and the size of the vents, we really don't have any problem with overheating. It works out very well. The only challenge is, because we're not on grid, we have limited power supply here. You have to manually open those. So that's why we don't really efficiently run this place. It's just more for UPIC farmers markets and for our own needs. Another thing that I really recommend doing, that I like doing, I picked up this tank here, this water tank, for $10 at a local scrapyard. Have a couple of them. The benefit of having a water tank like that is you can fill it up when the sun's shining off your solar pumps, and then just use it for periodic maintenance, watering here and there. This greenhouse has had 2 seasons now. This is the 3rd season, so it's performed fairly well. The one thing I like about it is just the thermal performance, because of the high ceilings, is outstanding. Really good setup. Anyway, hey, thanks for your time. You have a great day. Bye.